Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, its traditional trappings tend to be with us for between 20 and 60 days a year. So, let's take a look at the origins of some of those traditions without straying too far into the tricky subject of religion. Christmas supposedly celebrates the birth of Jesus, who's the pivotal figure in the world's largest religion, by number of adherents, Christianity. But now, it's as much a commercial event as a religious one. Let's look at the facts behind some of its more familiar traditions. Number 1, the 25th of December. The date of the 25th of December is not supported by any solid evidence as the birth date of the historical figure of Jesus. However, dates had a huge significance in the late ancient and early medieval era. So the choice of the 25th of December to celebrate Christmas was clearly a matter of complex socio-religious history. The first recorded Christmas celebration was on the 25th of December in the year 336 of the Common Era. The 25th of December is close to the winter solstice, which usually falls on the 21st or 22nd of December. However, the Romans celebrated it on the 25th of December as a celebration of their deity Sol Invictus. The 25th of December is also almost exactly 9 months after the Christian festival of the Annunciation, which lies on the 25th of March, very close to the spring or vernal equinox. Number 2, holly, ivy and the Yule Log. Much of the symbolism of our modern Christmas celebrations is actually a callback to the pre-Christian midwinter festivals of Northern Europe. The winter solstice is the shortest day, and it must have been appealing to early Christians to celebrate the return of the sun and longer days, as it had been to other Northern Europeans and Roman cultures. Yule was a Germanic pre-Christian winter festival. Families would bring a large log, a Yule log, into the home and burn it throughout the darkest days of the year. Gradually, it became a tradition to do this on Christmas Eve. The use of greenery in pre-Christian winter festivals emphasised the evergreen nature of plants like holly, ivy and mistletoe. Unlike many other European plants, these plants did not shed their leaves during the winter, and so were a good symbol for perpetual life. Number 3, Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a curious mixture of historical, quasi-historical, mythical and allegorical figures from many different cultures. The name Santa Claus, however, tells us which of these antecedents was to win out. And that was the Roman Catholic St. Nicholas, the Bishop of Myra. However, the concept of Father Christmas harks back to the earlier pre-Christian midwinter Yule festival. The Slavic, Germanic and Norse tribes of the early Middle Ages had their god Woden, Wotan or Odin. A lot of the imagery surrounding this god, sometimes known as the All-Father, surrounds even our modern concept of Father Christmas. But didn't Coca Cola invent Santa Claus? No. Next question? Seriously, no, Coca Cola didn't invent the imagery around Santa Claus. There were plenty of antecedents, but yes, they did co-opt those into their advertising campaign. They spruced up familiar American imagery around Santa Claus, they gave it a 1920s design ethic, and they gave him a bottle of their brew to hold, and an advertising icon was born. It was artist Haddon Sundblom who created the iconic image of a big, merry, white-bearded, red-suited, big-booted, wide-belted gentleman in 1931. Sundblom's conception of Santa Claus combined many images, from the mundane to the grotesque, and from the secular to the religious, that had been around in Europe and the West for centuries. It seems likely that the distinctive red coat of Sundblom's Santa Claus owes more to the corporate colour red of the Coca Cola organisation than it does to the red bishop's robes that maybe the Bishop of Myra might have worn. Indeed, in many traditional European representations, Old Father Christmas wears a green cloak. Since then, of course, successive ad agencies have co-opted this image as a way of marketing a quintessentially American beverage. And yes, inevitably, that has spread all over the globe. Number 4, Christmas cards. Sir Henry Cole was the founder of the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. In 1843, he wanted to let everyone he knew know about his desire to help the poor at Christmas. But unfortunately, he didn't have time to write hundreds of letters, and he had no email or social media account. So he asked the artist John Corcott Horsley to design a card which he could put into the newly invented postal system, which he had helped found a few years earlier. They printed over 2,000 cards, which even today would represent a good social network. Later, Cole was knighted for his services to industrial design. The newspapers often refer to him as Old King Cole, but no, that is not the origin of the rhyme, which goes back to Roman Britain. Number 5, turkey dinner. The idea of feasting in midwinter goes back to the earliest times and is certainly a pre-Christian tradition. Just about any unfortunate creature has at some time been marked for the dinner table in some part of the world. In Northern Europe, hogs, swans and deer have been favourites at different times. Turkey, however, is a latecomer, coming, as it does, from the Americas, of which Europe was blissfully ignorant until the 15th century. William Strickland is thought to have imported the first turkeys to Britain in 1526. His family coat of arms bears, in the words of the Royal College of Arms, a turkey cock in his pride proper. Turkey became a popular Christmas dish thanks to Charles Dickens. In his short story A Christmas Carol, Scrooge sends a prize turkey to the Cratchit family. But of course, turkey is not the dish of choice in every country. But the question a lot of people here in Britain ask is, if a turkey comes from America, why is it called a turkey? Good question. Early European explorers to the New World mistook the turkey for a type of European guinea bird called a turkey fowl. And the name stuck. Number 6, Xmas. Why Xmas, you ask? This one's actually quite simple. Our modern letter X comes from the Greek letter chi, and chi is the first letter of the word Christos, which means the anointed one, or the Messiah in Hebrew. This is the origin of the epithet Christ, which is attached to the name of Jesus, and is also the origin of the name Christian. And hence it gives us Christmas, and hence the chi in front of the Mass gives us Xmas. Number 7, Merry Christmas. The greeting, Merry Christmas, dates back to at least 1534. It was written by Bishop John Fisher in a letter to Henry VIII's then Chief Minister, Thomas Cromwell. The Christmas carol, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, was first recorded in the same century. The name Yule, for the pre-Christian European midwinter festival, is much harder to trace, although it clearly goes back to the early Indo-European language. It appears to relate closely to our word jolly. So, perhaps English speakers should wish one another a jolly Christmas. Jolly Christmas! It may not sound so good, but at least it's more historically resonant. The fact is, few people watch management videos around Christmas time. But if you are watching, Jolly Christmas! Please do give this video a like if you've enjoyed it or learned from it. I'll be making loads more great management videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of them. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.